When I met our guest in 2017, he was averaging 1 to 2,000 views per day after being on YouTube for 6 years. Today, he's getting 50,000 plus views daily and growing. Liron Segev is that creator who will be sharing his strategies and secrets that helped him get massive views and grow his subscribers 100,000 plus in just the last year. He's a tech expert that knows how to teach people in a simple, down-to-earth way, and that's exactly what he's going to do in today's interview to help you crush it with your channel. All that and more on the VI Show coming up.
This video is brought to you by vidIQ, the #1 Chrome extension for YouTubers looking for on-point data analysis, research resources, and enhanced video creator tools. Start getting more views in less time today by signing up for free at vidiq.com/influence. That's vidiq.com/influence.
That's right, you guys. Welcome to Video Influencers. My name is Benji Travis, and we started this channel to help you crush it on YouTube, help you build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. And we're the co-authors of YouTube Secrets. That's right, the book that's going to also help you crush it. Also available on audiobook, so make sure you check it out on Audible. But speaking of secrets, the man of the hour is Liron Segev, and he's going to be sharing his secrets. So without further ado, what's up, Liron? Thank you so much for being on the show. And man, congratulations on your recent success. You just got your first silver play button, which is amazing. Wow. I saw it on Twitter. So good for you. It's just the beginning. Can't wait for the gold button post one day. Let's just get right into it. Like, how are you feeling? And tell us a little bit about your journey, because when I met you 2 years ago, you were in a completely different place. You literally asked me, this is what's ironic, because now I'm always asking you, you're like, Benji, what do I need to do? Like, sometimes I don't know like what is needed for the next step. So tell us what the next step was for you and how you got to this place.
Yeah, I mean, it's just mind-blowing. It's crazy. And that like little intro reel, I actually got chills because it's super weird. And that's like what YouTube is. You just never know what's going to happen. And all these people who are just doing these amazing content and just giving up because the algorithm hates me, you know, all that nonsense. It's just crazy stuff in my mind. So yeah, when you and I spoke, I literally just moved from South Africa to the US, and I was kind of a little bit all over the place and I wasn't really sure where I was going. And again, that's the power of YouTube, is that once you put all that ego nonsense aside and you just reach out to people and say, look, help me out here. Just give me some ideas, some pointers. Let me learn and constantly be learning from other people. Things start to change because it is a community at the end of the day. And once you surround yourself with people who are going to tell you the truth, that is when you start winning, because you don't want people to pat you on the back and go, hey, well done, that was awesome. Well, because they're not doing you any favors. You want to say, hey guys, where do I suck? Why is that bad? Help me do better. And when you and I started chatting, we had that very frank conversation, and it was like light bulb moments, and we go, oh, hold on, I never saw it from that perspective. Also, YouTube is international. I was looking at purely from a South African point of view. I was living in South Africa at the time, and I was just looking at it from there. And you said, no, hold on. This is how we got to look at it. This is how this thing works. And I went, oh my gosh, I'd never thought of that. So it's been a crazy ride. I mean, when I moved to the US, I think I had something like 4,000 subscribers a couple of years ago. And well, yeah, this is just the journey.
And yeah, and that was 6 years in the making. You come from the tech space. We won't get too much into that history, but you know, one of the reasons I love having you on here, just like other creators who are just getting started, right? Fairly small channels, but still crushing it, is because, you know, when you hit 1 million subscribers, or you've been doing this for a decade like myself, it's like, it's easy to forget how difficult it really can be, right? Don't get me wrong. You and I both know that if you're consistent, you're focused, you've got clarity, and you stick with it without quitting, like, you'll get there. But when you're uploading videos and it's getting 10 views, 100 views, maybe 1,000 views, it can get very frustrating. And I think that's one of the reasons so many people can relate. I'm reading a lot of the comments, and they're really, you know, relating to where you were at not too long ago, right? Even a year ago, you were at
Yep.
16,000, 15,000 subscribers. And in the last year, you gain 100,000 followers, which is pretty crazy. So what's the last thought
insane.
about what's going on in the world? Because obviously there's a crisis, it's chaos, there's uncertainty, but there is a level of opportunity that we have never seen, and it's specific to YouTube. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts before we get into your secrets for success.
I think that YouTube is international. YouTube is global. YouTube will bring perspective from different countries, from different people, regardless of whichever channel or niche they happen to be in. And that's itself is an opportunity. So many people look at YouTube and say it's too saturated, or like it's been done before. Why would I want to make a go of it? And that is such the wrong approach, especially now where things are just super weird. Are we allowed out? Are we not? Should we wear a mask? Should we not? What's the government doing? What's the politics doing? It's just everything is weird. But you know what you can control is picking up the camera. You can control writing a script. You can control creating a beautiful thumbnail. You can control focusing on your own strategy and saying, forget the world. Let me shut that out for a second. The opportunity is re-looking at where I'm going with myself, my channel, my audience, and my audience is my community. Talk to the community and start moving in that forwardly direction. Opportunities is here. Be sensitive about it. Go and grab it. And then who knows where it's going to take you. Just don't give up on it because you're looking at everybody else doing their stuff. I think there's an amazing opportunity for education. There's an amazing opportunity for entertainment. There's only so much Netflix you can watch, as we said. There's only so much time that you can do on the couch. But once you've got the devices in your hand, people are constantly looking for, hey, my tap is leaking. I'm not allowed to get someone into my house. How do I fix a tap? Things that you traditionally are not the sexy, cool things on YouTube are now absolutely blowing up because people want to know, how do I make a mask? How do I fix my leaking toilet? Those things that when traditionally the GoPro sexy footage are now doing absolutely amazing. The time is now. And if you can grab it, focus, spend the time crafting your message, it's there for the taking.
Absolutely. And you guys, I just want to say I'm excited to get into your secrets, your strategies. I want to give some quick shout outs. Hit that like button if you're already feeling pumped up, right? About your channel, about YouTube. Make sure you subscribe for more interviews just like this. We got Rags Gaming. We got shout out to YT Team Mimran. We got Zoleg Ghaffari TV and Boy JR. So welcome to Video Influencers. We're going to get right into it. And if you guys are excited for the Q&A, get ready for something a little special today because Liron, who is legit an expert, he's audited literally hundreds, if not thousands of channels, and he's not only helped other creators, but even us right here on Video Influencers, he will be auditing some channels. So stay tuned to the very end for that. If you're watching the replay, just join the VI Club because we actually have those as a replay playback for you guys specifically. If you're watching this live, you get everything, okay? So we're going to get right into it. Liron, bring us home. Let us know, what is it that you focused on? What are the strategies and the secrets that you utilize to actually get from doing literally like hundreds, if not thousands of views, maybe to literally 50,000 plus views daily? And by the way, that statistic was from earlier in the week. I think you're hitting like 60, 70,000 views daily sometimes. So what is that? What's the first thing you want to share with us?
Okay, so as we're getting into this, everybody, I need you to kind of just gather. I think I basically decided a long time ago that I needed to create a set of guidelines for myself. And those guidelines are going to keep me honest, are going to keep me on track. And I want to share those guidelines with you. They will work on your channel regardless of what you do, but they are a good guidelines, guardrails, however you may phrase that, they're just going to keep you doing things in the right direction. And that's what today is all about. So let's start at the beginning. And the first beginning is small horizons. And here is what I mean by that. When you're starting on your YouTube journey, or even if you've been doing it for a while, we all want that 1,000 subscribers, that 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 50, 100, a million. We all want that. I don't think there's a single person here in the chat who doesn't want the next milestone. I mean, it's crazy not to want that, but that's good. However, that is going to hurt you. When you start focusing on, man, I've only got 100 subscribers, I'll never get to 1,000. What you're forgetting is that there's not 100 subscribers. Those are 100 people. Those are 100 people who want to watch your content. When we get up on stages, and Benji is the same, we get up on stages, we speak in front of 100, 200, 500 people. 1,000 people is a huge stadium. These are people who are watching your channel. So when you start forgetting that, that's when you lose complete sight of your mission and your focus. So what, in South Africa, we had a saying, and my South African people in here can back me up here. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This elephant is massive. We all want to get to it, but you got to start somewhere. So the way I kind of set for myself is say, forget the 100,000, forget the 50,000, forget the 10,000. Look at 500 milestones, little milestones. We go to the first horizon, and when I get there, I'll go to the next horizon. You can only see as far as the horizon anyway. So make little milestones and forget the big milestones, because you take care of the little milestones, guess what's going to happen? The big milestones will come. And the big message here, there's a tool called Social Blade, which we love, tells you about your statistics and your information. The one thing you should never, ever, 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 under any circumstances do is go look at something called future predictions. That is an algorithm that kind of says to you, you're going to hit 10,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers in 5 years. That will destroy you. Stop looking at that. It's a stupid statistic. It doesn't mean anything. It told me I was going to hit 100,000 in the next 2 years. So
For sure.
Forget it. Ignore it. Focus on the little milestones, the small horizon, and treat each viewer, each subscriber as a person. And when you start putting it like that, things start to click.
Boom. And so I completely agree with you. So many people, they get distracted by the shiny things, right? And they're looking in awe of what someone else is doing. Or they have this like preconceived notion of where their numbers should be. Remember, YouTube's algorithm works very similar to what you're saying. It doesn't completely trust you as a content creator yet. It doesn't even know that much about you, especially in the beginning. Like your numbers are small just because the algorithm's like, okay, let's give this person a chance, put them out there, but we're just going to test the waters, right? Not just like completely blast everybody. You have no subscribers yet. So as you put out quality content over a long period of time consistently, you're basically proving to the algorithm, I'm worth promoting. And this is why at the very beginning, if you're just getting started, definitely have forgiveness for yourself. You're going to make some mistakes, but do your best to put out quality content. So I think that this is the most important thing for anybody just starting today, which is just focus on your own numbers. Even if that number is 1 view, well, tomorrow do 2 views, right? Next one is 10 views and 200 views. And Liron, you can speak to this very well, because it was you not too long ago.
Well, and I think even more so, you're like, I think you should go all in on this. And here's what I mean by that. Guess what the big advantage that you have as a small channel? You have an opportunity to experiment. When you're a big channel, you're already in a niche. You already know what you're doing. You're already focused on one thing. As a small channel, you have the pleasure, and I call it a pleasure because later on you're going to go, oh, I wish I did this instead. But right now, you can make 5, 6, 7 different videos around similar content, see which one works, make more videos on that worked, focus on those 2, make 3 or 4 more just on that topic, and slowly you're finding your niche and your voice and your audience. But you have the pleasure of experimenting. And when you're a small channel, whatever that means, by the way, because for somebody, a small channel is 100, for someone, oh, I wish I get to 100, right? It doesn't matter. It's about you, your content, and building that audience. Start looking at your audience as people, not as a number. There's too many stories in the press of these unicorns that get 1 million views in 3 days or 1 million subscribers in 5 days. And we go, oh, YouTube hates us. It just loves those people. No, ignore all that. Your milestones should be your next viewer, your next subscriber, your next video. Rinse and repeat, learn, make more.
Boom. You guys are hearing some amazing stuff. I'm getting fired up, and I love even the reminders of, remember, like, that one view is a human being, and treat it with respect, because that person's going to appreciate it. I mean, if you guys appreciate the value you're already getting, then it's for real. Like what he's saying is a real thing. And if you do the same thing for others, I'm telling you, it's gonna pay dividends tenfold for a lot longer than you think. Because remember, that one view could be a returning viewer later, right? Those 1,000 views could again be your 1,000 fans in the future. So let's get into your next pointer, which is control the emotion. I know that when we first get started, of course, it's easy to get frustrated, right? And maybe even get angry, almost blaming YouTube, like, this is why I'm not succeeding. Tell us why controlling the emotion is so important, and how to do this so that we can get through some of those hard times.
I fully get it. I mean, we spend hours and hours and hours making a video. We edit, we thumbnail, we get the perfect title. This is going to rock. You cannot wait to hit that public button. You click on save, and then nothing happens. And then nothing happens again. And you rinse and repeat the same process, and just eats at your soul. Why am I doing this? I'm wasting my time. And more importantly, people around you are telling you that you're wasting your time. And then you start self-doubting. You're thinking, am I really wasting my time? Why do I want to put in 5 hours of effort for 5 views, for 100 views, for 1,000 views? It just doesn't seem to be worth it. You cannot do that. Okay. YouTube is an algorithm beast. It's lots of algorithms. It's ones and zeros. Guess what? YouTube's unemotional. It doesn't care. So at the end of the day, you cannot care, and I'm going to use the word care in inverted commas, but you cannot care once you press the public button. Once a video goes live, you have to tell yourself, okay, that was a product I put out into the market. I'm going to watch my product, not my video. I'm going to watch my product. Did it do well? Did it not do well? If it didn't do well, why not? Let's understand why it didn't do well. So when I make my next video, in other words, my next product, I can fix those things. If you start looking at YouTube as a business, and each video is a product that you're putting out for sale to an audience, if you treat it like a business, you do your analysis like a business, then it's not emotional. It doesn't get to your heart, because you're watching these videos and you're learning all the time. Some of the best YouTubers in the world with millions of subscribers, that's the only thing they do. They push public and they walk away. And they come back and they say, okay, how did my product do? What did I do wrong? What can I do better next time? When you start thinking of YouTube videos as that, you're not so emotionally attached to this. Therefore, you can let it go. And we're not going to break out into song, but let it go. Okay. Some people will like it. Some people will not. And that's okay. You cannot please everyone all the time. And as soon as you try, you will fail. Simple as that. Learn, adapt, launch the next video. Rinse and repeat.
And you know what I always say is set it and forget it. So after all the uploading, the optimization, you put it into the world, you promote it on your socials, just forget about it. And you never know what's going to happen, right? And I always say after that, on to the next one. So I want to share an example. Sean and I were talking yesterday about some future video ideas we're going to create for this channel. And one thing we used to do is like a channel love video, where we would actually look at people's channels and talk about great ideas we didn't know about. So I want to show this video. When we put out this video,
are you trying to come up see who is subscribed?
So I see you saying anyways, what's going to happen in this video is we dive into other channel ideas, right? When we first put this video out, it actually didn't do very well. Like it got some traction. I don't know, it was like a few thousand views back in the day. And then now I looked at it the other day and literally 140,000 views on a video that I completely forgot about. So anyways, the point I'm making here is you just never know. The algorithm is interesting. You could put out a quality piece of video, something that's amazing, and for whatever reason, it doesn't gain traction right away. Well, if it truly is good, if it's truly fulfilling a need that viewers have out in the world, The algorithm has this miraculous way going, oh, I remember there is this video over here. So
That's
this is why emotion can be a bad thing. Of course, I think there's positive, right? Like you can be inspired, you can get motivated, you can have like the energy to create, but don't let the frustration stop you from uploading because you never know what's going to happen. I'm sure, Liron, you've experienced this many times.
I could tell you that the video that blew up my channel was a video that was 4 months old, completely forgot it. It did its thing. I let it go, moved on to the next one and the next one. I've done so many videos subsequent to that one. And then all of a sudden, YouTube decided that people needed to see that video. Because guess what? YouTube is about not you, I'm afraid, as the creator. Sorry, it's about the viewer. The viewer, they want to give the viewer the best experience. And because they thought that that video is going to give someone additional information, the stuff that it fits that profile, it blew that video up. As Benji was saying, a video that we forgot about. So it was arriving on my channel. It wasn't even a thing. All of a sudden, I saw a spike in my number, and I went, "Oh, I wonder what did that? It must be my latest video." It wasn't. It was a video from 4 months ago. You just never ever know. The problem with YouTube is that the highs and the lows for creators are fast and furious. We have a good video, we're on a good high. We then make another one. It doesn't do so well, we go to a low. We do another video, it does okay, we kind of okay again, and we try again. So the highs and the lows are so fast and packed together that it's very difficult to kind of maintain that positive outreach. But if you start looking at your video and saying, you know what, it's in the wild, I have let it go, let me look at the next one, well, then you're not worried about those highs and lows because it's just something that's in the market. But you have to learn. So I'm not saying do it and then just do another one, another one, another one. Quality over quantity always.
Absolutely. And so that leads us right into our next tip. When you can't figure out what's working, well, you got to go and explore what is working for others. And the way you do that is always be learning. So, of course, if you're watching this, you're trying to get something out of it, right? You're learning a new skill. Talk about why this has been so important for you, Liron, and why you found that this is one of the game changers for successful people. Because I can tell you this, even myself, Sean, my wife, we are always learning the newest, greatest ways because you have to. And there's some like clear examples of why this is important. But Liron, like just preach to us. Let us know why this was one of the pillars for you to have your success and go from doing 1,000 views a day to literally over 50,000 daily.
Well, it's simple. The only constant is changed, right? The algorithm changes, YouTube changes, and it's not YouTube changing for the sake of changing. YouTube is a product, it's a company, it wants to make money, so it has to adapt. And by it adapting, you need to adapt, you need to change. So if you're not constantly learning, well, then you're going to repeat the same stuff you've done before and then wonder why something that was working repeatedly is no longer working. And then you're going to get frustrated, see previous tips, you're going to get emotionally attached, and then you're going to blame YouTube again. And then people go online and complain. Learning is so critical. It doesn't matter how much you know. I mean, if you look at all the big events, the VidCon, the Vid Summits, the Video Influence Summit, like all of those events that you go to, why do other creators go and other teachers go? Because we all want to learn. We are constantly optimizing and constantly learning things that we know. The first thing I said to Benji, I said, hey, Benji, look at my stuff. Help me out here. I don't know what I'm doing. It was like played open cards. There was no point in keeping everything close to my chest and saying, I have a friend with a technology channel that's, no, that stuff never works. Go and be open, be vulnerable. It's okay. Expose your data, it's not so secret, and then say, hey, look, here's my data, here's my information, here's my videos. What am I doing wrong? And guess what? Someone's going to tell you something like we do on a daily basis when we do channel audits and we look at people's channels. We'll say one thing and you can see tears swelling up in people's eyes as they go, wow, I know what I need to do. But they're never going to have that unlock moment until you're willing to learn. That is critical. The one thing I will say, just as a little kind of disclaimer at the end of that, is that lots of things are out there on the internet. There's lots of teachers of everything. You just got to remember, not everything applies to every channel all the time. So what I mean by that is you've got to know your data, you've got to know your channel, you've got to know your audience. So when someone says, oh, just do this, it may not apply to you. But that's why channels like video influencers is so critical, because when they teach you about your channel. Stuff is specific, and so you can really absorb the information. What Sean does, what Benji does, is just so vital, because it's about mindset, it's about growth, it's about strategy, and those apply across the board. But always be learning. And if you think some of the stuff that we're talking about is boring, that's fine. And you're welcome to leave at any moment. But guess what? In a year's time, you'll be having the exact same conversation. But those real YouTubers, as I like to call them in the chat here, and I can see the real YouTubers, those, if you're a real YouTuber, give a thumbs up in the chat. Let's just see who the real YouTubers are, because that's what I want to see. Because those are the real YouTubers who have come to play and have come to learn, have spent time on a Saturday because they want to know what are they doing wrong. And then as soon as they understand that, they're going to have an unlock moment. You guys are going to have an unlock moment, and you're going to go, you know what? Yeah. This week is going to be epic, and I'm going to rock my channel. That's the real YouTubers.
Yeah. And why I love this point is because one thing that you didn't really touch on, but is so important to consider and always remember moving forward, literally into the future of your journey on YouTube, is the algorithm is always changing. So you need to know how to adjust to it. There's definitely certain principles. We've wrote this book, YouTube Secrets, to be a classic. It's evergreen. The principles in here will work today, and they'll probably work 5 to 10 years from now. However, there's some nuances on the algorithm, and partly because people figure out how to hack YouTube and basically work around the algorithm, kind of like use it to their advantage. And they want to make YouTube as equal and fair for everybody. One of the things I love about YouTube, they're really good about pulling people from obscurity into the world, right? Like giving you an audience to at least get a chance to speak to connect with, to promote your content to. So if you're not learning about how the algorithm is changing, looking at the updates that YouTube has, it's going to really be difficult for you to just base your strategies off of year one's experiences. And this is why even I'm telling you, like yesterday, Sean and I, we were having revelations about this channel, Video Influencers, or about our own content. And we're saying, we got to do something different. And to be fair, we've been doing pretty well for ourselves for the last decade. But that's one of the reasons we've been able to have that success, is because we never lack learning in our lives, right? We're always taking notes. In fact, we used to, I remember, run to the front of the seats at VidCon, we're like little kids writing down all the notes. Now we're not running to the front row anymore. We're standing in the back, but we're still taking notes on their phones, right? Because creators are finding out the new strategies to crush it here on this platform, and we want to apply that to our own content. So question of the day for you today is, what new strategy, what new skill are you going to be learning today? Let me know in the comments area, because I want you to tackle them this weekend. Do not wait. If it's a weekday, if you're watching the replay, make sure you crush it in the next 24 hours. You'd be surprised how little time it takes to learn a new skill, whether it's like a new editing technique, maybe some additional graphics, maybe you've got to take your camera out and learn all the new settings, or if you're just wanting to stay in your computer, maybe there's some new optimization techniques. Liron is part of the vidIQ team. Go to vidIQ, which, by the way, the vidIQ link is down below. That's a new tool. If you're not using vidIQ, you need that tool. So go to vidiq.com/influence. Have that. That's right. Have that as part of your toolkit. So that's a lot on that point. Anything else before we get to next point, Liron?
I'm just watching the chat and watch how many thumbs up are coming through. These are people that are here for the real things. These are people here that are here to really blow up their channels, really want to understand. They're willing to put in the work. They recognize that there is no hack. There is no wizard that you install and you go next, finish, million views, million subs. You got to put in the work, but put in the right work. Be smart about what you're doing. And that's what this channel is about. That's what we're trying to teach you today. And they're feeding off each other. And I love the positivity and all those thumbs up. I mean, it just beautiful. Love it, love it, love it.
Boom. All right, you guys, if you're getting value out of this, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, this is Video Influencers. I'm Benji Travis. Subscribe for more content like this. We interview people every single Saturday morning. This is a VI show. And we're going to get into the next piece of principle that helped Liron get from doing, 1,000, 2,000 views a day to literally 50,000 plus views daily, 100,000 subscribers in the last year. So if you guys are just getting in here, buckle up because this is not the end. There's some more coming. So the next point that Liron wants to share is run your own race. How important is this, Liron, especially when you're first starting and all you're seeing is maybe friends of yours, they're growing, they're getting views, or you see these like epic unicorn of a YouTuber that's got 1 million plus subscribers that's like getting invited to all these events, and then you're just getting started here and you can barely get 100 views, right? Why is running your own race, and what does that actually mean in terms of how important it is to actually succeed on this platform?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just rock solid, has kept me focused for all this time. It is so easy to look around you, as Benji's saying, and say, hey, how come he or she is blowing up? How come that content is doing well? My content is so much better. Why is that working? Why is mine not working? Why? And whilst it's great to ask the why question, when you focus on other people's success, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to be successful yourself. And what I mean by that is that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea if that person has just paid $5,000 in ad revenue to be able to boost their channel, and that's why they're getting those views. You have no idea if that person has got a very successful blog, and that blog is pushing the traffic. You have no idea what kind of data they are mining, what kind of traffic they're doing, what kind of teams they have. Well, how dare you compare yourself to someone with a team of 10 with $1 million budget and going, why are they growing and I'm not? You're wasting time, but more importantly, you're wasting your energy. If you can take that same energy and focus that into your channel, running your own race, that's when you win. Look up every once in a while. See, kind of keeping an eye on the environment, who's doing what, but don't get sucked down this rabbit hole of saying too saturated. How come they're getting views?
Yeah.
How come they're getting subscribers and I'm not? That is just critical. I'm in the technology space on my channel. If I had to look up and say, well, iJustine has got millions of subscribers. Marquez has got millions and millions of subscribers. Well, technology is now saturated. I'm not doing technology anymore.
Yeah.
That would have been a mistake, right? It's 2020 as we're recording this today, because I'm sure this video will live on forever. So it's 2020 as we're recording this today. And I have a channel that's new and hits 100,000 subscribers. If I had given in 2018, when I had 10,000 subscribers, if I had looked up then saying, how come they're doing this? How come they're doing that? And given up, we wouldn't be having this conversation today.
Yeah. I love that
Run
you brought up
your race.
I love that you brought up like other traffic sources or paid traffic. Maybe they're running some advertisements, right? Some artificial stimulators to those views. Their team, obviously, previous experiences. You don't know that maybe the reason this person is blowing up from video 1 is because they started 3 other channels before that all failed. Nick Nimmin is a great example for this. He was on our show a few months ago and he told me about channels I had no idea about. He's like, yeah, I don't upload to them anymore, but I learned a lot there. And so this is why when he came on as Nick Nimmin, right, rather than those other channels, he crushed it. So don't be too hard on yourself. And another thing too is you don't know if this person is single, has no kids, has no job, and literally like works 24/7 on their channel, which also should tell you a little bit about maybe how much more you need to work to keep up, right? But the reality is there's too many variables to understand. We're just listing what we can talk about right now. And this is why running your own race is, I agree, like so important. Even, by the way, if you're a more successful influencer, you still have to run your own race too. Because like my wife and I, we have our vlogs, and sometimes like during the last 10 years, there's been times where some of our friends have like gotten way more views. And what we didn't know is they were starting to do more kids content. They were getting into that audience that we didn't want to tap into. But those, you know, those kids, they just watch video after video after video. And if we let that affect us and maybe change our strategy, like who knows, we maybe wouldn't be here today because we would have got frustrated. So running your own race is so important. So we're going to get right. Anything else you want to add before we get into your last point?
Yeah, just the whole thing of, speaking of running your own race, you've also got to be you. Like if you're going to be like somebody else, you're just forever going to be a copy. You know, as I like to say, be yourself, everybody else is already taken, right? If you're going to be a copy of Peter McKinnon, then you're going to be a copy of Peter McKinnon. You're going to be a copy of Casey Neistat. You're going to be just another, and therefore you're going to come and go. It's going to disappear. But someone, I think we've got Lila in the chat here, and Lila from YouTube. She does amazing stuff on her channel in her style, her way, and people are resonating with that. She broke 10,000 subscribers the other day. It's once you find that you're bringing your personality in and you're bringing yourself in and people are connecting with you as a person, that's when the magic happens. But if you're so busy looking at what a channel with 1 million and 5 million and 10 million subscribers is doing, and you try to replicate that, not going to happen. I mean, some of these big channels can literally launch a video with no thumbnail, a terrible title with a semicolon as a title, and still get 1 million views. You try that on your channel and see what happens. It's just not the same. The data is not the same. The algorithm hasn't given you enough authority yet. You cannot pull those same stunts. So run your race. Stop looking at everybody else. Head down, be focused, be specific, and just crush you, because that's how you win.
I feel like we should just end it there because that was such an epic line. But there is one more point you want to share with us, and that's experiment. Now, this literally just means exactly what it is try new things. You know, do not feel the need to be in this box. We had a guest on not too long ago that actually doesn't like niching because niching too much because it boxes you in. Like you need to kind of experiment, partly for your own personal benefit. But also like the algorithm likes this, right? And there's some hidden benefits to it, and you know all too well. And by the way, I would love to pop up your video. So let me know what video that is where you actually blew up, right? Where you didn't know like for 4 months. Just let me know that. And then tell us about experimentation.
So experimentation is key. The old YouTube thinking was once it's live, don't touch it. Because YouTube is going to reset your data. YouTube is going to start you from scratch. So don't touch anything that's out there. And they almost scared people into doing that. New YouTube is not like that. New YouTube is video by video by video. It's about going out there. So guess what? If you're doing something that isn't working, there's no point in repeating that. Experiment, get weird. Don't get super weird where people are going to, where your existing subscribers are going to go, what's going on? But if you're going to want to try play a bit, maybe make a short video if you're used to making long videos. Maybe you have different titles, different thumbnails, something that's like beyond, like super weird that you didn't have on your channels before. See if people resonate with that. Do a Q&A. Maybe do an Ask Me Anything, something that you've never done. And it could flop. And that's okay, because now you know not to do that again or to do more of it. But you're never going to know until you try. So many of us are stuck in that bubble of rinse and repeat, make video, edit video, upload video, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But every once in a while, allow yourself a bit of creative freedom. Also, it's good for the brain to get those endorphins of actually playing and doing something different. I hate doing vlogs. I'm terrible at doing vlogs. But, you know, every once in a while, I'll put in some vlogish type of elements into my videos. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And that's okay. Forgive yourself, and that's fine. But experiment, but have a purpose. This experiment is to work out whether vlogging style works. And the answer is yes, or the answer is no. And now you know. And then you do your next experiment, and then your next experiment. That's okay to talk to your audience like they're people. At the end of the day, it's a viewer. I keep on going back to that because we're people, and the people that you're watching here are people. And guess what? We're not the same 24 hours a day. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're excited, sometimes we have way too much caffeine. That's okay because that is the way that we are. So sometimes your videos need to show that, show the different ranges that you have, and people will either dig it or not, and that's okay. Whichever one it is, you cannot please all people all the time, but please experiment. And just to be clear, if something is working on your channel and it's getting views, getting subscribers, and doing well, don't touch it. But if something isn't working, what harm could it do? It's getting one view a day. If you're going to change the title and the thumbnail and it's going to get 0 views a day, have you really done any harm? Not really, but it could change your channel.
For sure. And, you know, I put it this way, experimentation can lead to discovery and direction. So I talk about this as a hook video. When you try something different, you even explain it. Maybe you do 10-minute videos, 20-minute videos. Well, what happens if you did a 2-minute video once in a while, right? Maybe adjusted the niche a little. It's still under your umbrella of tech, but you did it in a different way. And because of that video, the algorithm was able to put it in front of the right audience, and you get discovered by a new audience. But you also discover maybe that's what you've been wanting to do. Maybe the right energy that comes out in that video is because it matches with your personality. So you discover a new type of niche content and you have a new direction. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I completely agree with you about like, don't alienate your current subscribers. But you know, that number is going to be subjective to you. But if you've got less than 10,000 subscribers, I'm curious to know your thoughts. You should completely experiment, right? Don't worry about what you've already committed to. If you're over that, maybe starting a whole new channel, right? But start on your current channel. It's when you get into the 100,000 or 200,000 where you really have to like ask yourself, like, you know what? If I'm not feeling confident with this anymore, it's not my passion, maybe you should start a new channel. And I'll just tell you from experience, my wife being the model that I've always looked up to, she's experimented with new channels and always crushes it. And it's partly because she's not afraid to follow her passion wherever it goes, but she doesn't force it on her current subscriber list. But if you're just starting out, experiment all day, baby. Because you know what? I love what you said at the very beginning. Every video is a standalone video to the algorithm. If it's quality content, it's going to put out to the world.
Well, and quality, people can see quality because you're passionate and you bring that quality out in you when you're doing it and when you're really feeling a topic. And you know what? The always questions that we get is, how long should a video be? And we always say, long enough. Now, if you can teach me how to do something in a minute, in 3 minutes, don't make it a 20-minute video because you want to show me more ads, because you're just going to alienate your audience. Go out there, deliver the quality, deliver the passion, deliver you. And when you deliver you, well, guess what? Your audience connects with that. That's where the quality matters. That's when watch time matters, retention matters, and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger. But you have to experiment and play to work out what's working. Just like everything else in life. None of us were born knowing how to ride a bike, read a book. But we've learned. How did we learn? Over time. We experimented, got taught lessons, we fell off our bikes, we got up, Mom and Dad made us get back on that bike and we rode again. And now we can ride a bike. Same thing with YouTube. You're learning a skill, give yourself a break, experiment a lot, and then you'll work out what works for you. Because when you find that, that's when the light bulb moment happens. And you say, wow, my audience love it. I love making this. That's when you win all the time.
Absolutely. And you guys, we're going to get into some Q&A and some channel audits a little bit later. But if you're getting value out of this, hit that like one more time. We're about to end this part of the interview and get into some like pretty good stuff. Like the questions and applying those answers to your channels is what I love the most. That's why channel audits isn't something I do very often, but I do it for the members. So we've got Gustavo from the members. So if you guys want to see the replays of this, the Q&A portions, just hit that join button down below. And so let's get right into it. But hey, What are your last thoughts for creators on here before we get into Q&A that you want to leave the audience with when it comes to what's going on in the world, the opportunity on YouTube, and basically your general lesson that you learned over the last year, gaining 100,000 subscribers, gaining 50,000 views daily?
I think it's important to find you. And once you find you, you're able to deliver whatever that message is, you're able to deliver it in a better way, regardless of what your channel is about. Because people hang out with people, not with channels. None of us woke up this morning saying, gee, I wonder what my toothpaste company is up to. Not a single one of us did, right? But we do wonder what our favorite people are up to, because that's what YouTube is. It's your favorite person. It's your favorite. I'm going to use personal brand as the thing, but it's about that. And what I've learned is love thy data. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your data is unemotional. It doesn't care that you missed your kid's graduation, you couldn't go out for dinner with friends because you're uploading a video. It just doesn't care about any of that. It's just going to be unemotional and tell you what's working and what isn't working. So when you bring yourself to your content, when you make content that you love and are passionate about, when it's about you, not a copy of anybody else, and when you deep dive into your own data to see what's working, what isn't working, whether your experiment worked or didn't work, when you bring all those elements together, that's when you win on YouTube. It's about the 3 Ds of YouTube. You got to be discovered, you got to deliver, and then distribution happens of your content. Be authentic, be you, and just go and crush it. Simple as that.
There you go. You heard it from the master. One of the people I go to learn about how to crush it on YouTube. If you guys want to check out his tech channel, go ahead and click or tap the screen right here. If you want to see more interviews just like this on Video Influencers, this is the VI show. Click or tap the screen right here. As always, we're helping build an influence, income, impact with online videos.